You're flying your RC airplane. It has a Safe Select smart forward programmed receiver, and you have set it up with full Safe Select, and you're flying, and it has an issue where you need to give it all kinds of up trim or down trim. It just won't fly level. So you're going back into forward programming and you're clicking on attitude trim, and then you see this mess that says positive equals nose up and negative equals nose down to the left. And hold on, let me help you make sense out of all this so you can get your plane flying level fairly easy. Hey YouTube, it's Sean, Griffin RC Planes. So, forward programming, you have set up your receiver in your P&P airplane and you want full Safe Select like I do. And you're flying and it needs all kinds of nose up trim. It's always diving down, so you land, you go back to the forward programming menu and you're going to the safe settings and you're clicking on attitude trim, and it says level model and capture the attitude, and you do that and then you fly again and it's still nose up or nose down. You're having to trim it out, and so then you go back and you see into the forward programming menu and you're at the attitude trim, and you see positive equals nose up, left roll, and negative equals nose down and stuff, and you're thinking, what the heck, man? Let me help you make sense out of all this so you can level your plane out fairly easy. Let's pull up the forward programming here on the NX6, and we got the Night Timber X as our demo plane. Okay, so first of all, before you take off and you have your airplane in Safe Select, you've already given it a little bit of throttle real quick to activate the AS3X as well, and you have flipped your switch, and for 100% fact that your plane is in Safe Select mode. So, being a tail dragger plane, if that's what you have, you would pick the tail up, you would get the plane to level flight, which I have determined that this is level flight, and then you want your elevator to be level, okay? If it's like this, when you have it set on your picnic table or whatever, and it's in level flight, your Safe Select is on, your trims are neutral, and the elevator's like that, then it's not going to fly level. So you need to make sure on the bench before you take off that the elevator is level. Now, all planes need a little bit of trim in any direction. That's just how it is. They're foam or wood models, and they're not all balanced perfect, and they're just they need trim. That's why they have trim buttons. But before you take off, you want to be close, so you want your elevator level. So now you take off and you're flying, and it is just nosing down. It needs all kinds of up trim to get it to fly level. So you turn safe off real quick. You're a little scared, and so you turn safe off. You're up 3 mistakes high, and you give it a bunch of up trim as you're flying. And then real quick, you see that the plane is flying level, and you turn safe back on fast. You're like, oh God, thank goodness I made it. Well, now the plane is flying somewhat level, but you don't have much authority left because it's trimmed so much. So land the plane and then look at your transmitter. Let me show you here. You got your plane on the ground and you're like, man. But when I turn on Safe Select, the thing is, diving down to the ground. I had to give it all this up trim real quick with safe turned off, and I finally got it flying level if I, gave it a bunch of up trim. So you go into your forward programming menu, gyro settings, down here to system setup, safe and panic mode setup, and the attitude trim. And you can do this automatically, and that's where you started. You picked up the tail of your airplane, you got it in level flight, and you clicked level model and capture the attitude. And then you got these numbers here, roll 0 and pitch 0. But when you were flying, you had to give it all kinds of up trim. So if you physically had to click the trimmer to give it up trim, then in your pitch, you want to give it positive numbers, and that will give you up trim in the safe select. Okay, so let me show you directly on the elevator here so it helps you out. So here on the elevator, when you're flying, as a recap, you had to give it a bunch of up trim to get to fly level. So you're in the capture the attitude, and you're going to physically adjust the pitch yourself with positive numbers if you had to give it up trim. So I'm going to be drastic so you can see the change real quick. So I'm going to give it a plus 20 for the pitch, right? So your safe select switch is still turned on in the safe flight mode. We just gave it plus 20 on the attitude trim and pitch. And watch the elevator. Elevator went up just as if you were trimming it up. That's safe off, that's safe on. Now don't forget we went drastic. So back to the pitch, and let's go to 0 because that was what you got when you leveled the model and captured the attitude. Look back at the elevator. When I selected 0, it moves. So let's give it plus 20 just so we can see things. Watch the elevator once I select. And it went up just as if you trimmed it up. And it says positive equals nose up and roll right. So if you had to give it right trim, you would do the same if you were working on your roll. But right now we're just for demos, we're talking about the pitch. So if you had to give it up trim to get the airplane to fly level, then in the attitude trim you would give it positive numbers on the pitch. If you had to give it 20 clicks of up trim to get to fly level, then I would start with just giving it 2. All right, so one more little tip here. Let's go back to our attitude trim. So you gave it 20 clicks of up to get it to fly level, and we're going to give it positive numbers in the pitch right here. Let's start with 2. Try to fly it again, but before you fly it, center your trims. So go back to 0 trim, back to safe select, and fly it. If it's still nose down and you still need to give it some up trim, you know, then go maybe to 4 or 5, something like that. If you get to the point to where it's flying the other direction, that you're going to have to give it down trim, so then you have gone too far on your numbers. And if you think that you have it right, like you gave it positive 6, and then you tried it again and you went positive 7, but then it was too much when you had your trim centered, go back to the positive 6 and increase your gains, your safe gains for the pitch. So you go to safe settings and then the safe gains and your pitch. So maybe increase the gain 1 and try it again until you can fine tune it. So you got to kind of play with it. I hope that makes sense to you guys. It took me quite a while to figure it out. I didn't have any videos like this to watch. So I hope this video can help you guys. One thing before I let you guys go, guys, if you get anything out of my videos, please subscribe if you haven't. Make sure that you're still subscribed. Give me a thumbs up, share these videos with your friends, and in the last couple of videos, we talked about the firmware updates for the NX transmitters. And one of the things that is new is if you're bound to a smart telemetry receiver and you try to turn your transmitter off before the airplane, there's supposed to be some kind of an alarm, some kind of a notification saying, hey, you really want to do this? I haven't tried it yet. So let's try it. You know, we're still bound up to the old Night Timber X now. And the new way to turn the transmitters off is just tap the power button one time. There's our warning. Power off transmitter question mark. Says receiver is still operating. Receiver is still operating. So that's new right there. So let me turn the plane off by this little switch right here. And now we don't have any more control of the plane. So now let's try the power button with the new one tap setting. And there's no warning there. It just says power off transmitter. Okay, guys. Hey, thank you. Until next time, you'll see me here. If you want to win a jet like this, all you have to do is subscribe. Click the like button and leave a comment. And then ring the bell so you don't miss my next video. At 1,000 subscribers, we gave this jet away. At 5,000, we're going to give another one. I don't know what it is yet. We'll see when that time comes. So hey, subscribe, guys. Happy flying.